You've been watching coverage of the 2025 Class A American Legion Baseball Tournament on Post 17 TV. Following is a presentation of the Watertown Baseball Association in partnership with Aero TV and KXLG Radio. This is coverage of the 2025 State A American Legion Baseball Tournament from historic Watertown Stadium on Post 17 TV. Now, let's head down to the diamond and round the...
All right, welcome back here, Watertown Stadium, the 2025 South Dakota Class A American Legion Baseball Tournament taking place. We're through 3 games, and we're now to game number 4. This is a KXLG pregame show. It's really good, guys, that we have this fence here as we got the bullpen right behind us. We've taken a couple close ones here. Roger actually panicked a little bit, but he's okay. The 2-time Hall of Famer Roger Merriam joining me from the Watertown Public Opinion, and Gary Weckworth as well. Guys, it's been an interesting tournament. First of all, we've seen 3 games, Roger, and 3 technical upsets.
3 lower seeds all won, although the 4 or 5 one I think is always a little tough to call an upset. But you know, and I wasn't totally shocked by Harrisburg, but if you look at the record and the seeding, you would say that's an upset. And obviously, since Post 320 hadn't beat Post 22 in 17 years, that's not something most people were expecting.
Well, you know, we just saw Renner pull off a nice win. Gary, you interviewed, of course, the pitcher who played the whole game. He did outstanding.
He did a great job. I mean, looked like he had his stuff right away, and you know, was able to take control of the game. Renner was able to get some offense. I mean, I thought it might have been a 1-0, 2-0 game. It was really tight early on, but then they started getting to Brandon's pitcher, put some guys on base. They were able to move some guys around and play fundamental baseball, and we were able to put, you know, some runs up to preserve the win.
Absolutely. And now we're looking at maybe a little rain out here. We're hopefully going to stay away from that. We'll see what happens here. I wasn't really expecting that, but we're ready for game number 4. It's Watertown versus Pierre, the last game of the opening night. We've been waiting all day for this. Roger, I think looking at the crowd behind us, it's pretty full.
Yeah, it's a good Watertown crowd. I expected it, and it should be nice. Hopefully, if it doesn't rain too much. I mean, it's not 95 and blistering, and it should be good. You just got to hope. The thing that you worry about, and we talked about it a little bit, is that they play 2 or 3 innings and then have a rain delay, and then maybe even have to postpone it until tomorrow. And then somebody like Caden Rylance maybe doesn't come back tomorrow, but yet has pitched enough pitches that it's almost like he went a complete game. So now you got to burn a second pitcher to finish the game. So you just want, both teams are throwing their aces. I think Ridge Lineback is throwing for Pierre, and you just hope that they're not affected by any rain delays or anything like that.
You know, Gary, baseball is a little different than a lot of the other sports because pitching is such a different animal. You got to worry about how many innings you're getting, if you're going to save the guy for this game. You got to throw the first guy right away. It's kind of a chess match.
It is, but, you know, I hope they don't think of it like that, because to me you got good, solid pitchers and a guy like Caden Rylance, who's obviously a really good talent. Let him throw. Let him go. I mean, he's 18 years old, and I understand the strategies of trying to keep your pictures for next games and next game and next game, etc. But I think Pierre's coach said it best, is like, you got to win the first one. And so hopefully Caden's got his stuff, and he can go the distance and can go a long way and do some good for him.
Absolutely.
And I think in the high school season we talked about that. They beat Pierre. I think Cato had 17 or 18 strikeouts, something like that, or 20. It was a lot of strikeouts against them, and when Cato has his breaking balls working along with his fastballs, he's tough. He's really
personally. You can call him Cato.
Oh yeah, I know Cato real well. Tomorrow in the public opinion story on Heath and Caden Rylance.
Cato.
Yeah, Cato. I think I called it Heath Rylance athletic shadow does not swallow up Caden Rylance. So.
Well, we're going to call him Caden Rylance because any of our viewers from outside of Watertown might not know who we're talking about. We're not homers. I'm not a fan of homers, that's for sure. Well, let's talk about Watertown. A lot of kids going to play college baseball, Roger.
Yes, and well, we just found out. I did not know this. You did not know this. Nash Berger, first baseman, broke his finger, got hit by a pitch out in Pierre, and is out for the tournament. And the other thing we found out today is now the second team in the tournament will also advance to the Central Plains Regional. So that changes the thing. If you think 4 or 5 teams could win it, how many teams could get second? You know, if you throw another team or two in there, and especially with the way this has went down, this changes everything and how you go about doing it. You get knocked. We just figured out if Watertown would win tonight and then lose tomorrow, then they're playing Harrisburg tomorrow, and then Rapid possibly the next day. So
an elimination game.
Yes, not what you would expect. So things could turn haywire real quick, and that's why I think it's always Dave Plouffe always used to do that with Rapid. Throw the best pitchers first, second best pitcher the second day, and then just worry about Friday and Saturday when you get to Friday and Saturday.
I know you were looking at the pitching rules. So say you have Caden Rylands pitching for this game. Will he be able to, depending on what he's doing pitcher-wise or pitching-wise for numbers and innings, will he be able to come back later in the week?
Yes, he will. I think Cato actually told me, I think his 79 pitches or less, he would be back on Sunday. The problem is, and obviously if he threw 50 pitches or something, but the problem with 50 pitches, what inning are you in when you get to 50 pitches? And that was the key with Bjorkman, with O'Gorman, or with Renner. He kept his pitch count down. He was able to go the whole game. I don't even think he was probably that close to 105 pitches.
Let's find out from Gary. How is the hospitality tent food? I see you've been enjoying it.
It's top notch. I've been to a lot of hospitality tents in my day, and this is a good one.
It really is, isn't it?
They've done a nice job. A good, nice meal. What do they call those that we just had tonight?
Hot beef combos.
God, but there's another name for them, too.
A combination? Commercial.
Commercial, that's the word I was looking for. Had a really solid commercial.
All right, I'm going to enjoy one once this game begins. Well, I tell you what, we're in for a good time here tonight with our final matchup. It's Pierre coming into the contest with a record of 22 wins and 14 losses. Watertown coming into the contest with an overall record of 37 wins and 25 losses. Now, let's keep this in mind. These teams did split a doubleheader in Pierre back on July the 11th, with Pierre winning game 1, 6-5, Watertown winning game 2, 9-4. So, Roger, we've already seen that either team can win.
Yeah, and that's why I think Ryan Neal decided to pitch Caden Rylands in this game. Is even though we qualified for the state tournament by winning a best 2 out of 3 series against Pierre last year, we qualified for the high school tournament by winning a playoff game against Pierre this year. None of those games were cruise control. I mean, they were tight games, and even though Caden struck out 20 guys, I think it was like a 3-0 game or something like that. So Pierre's definitely capable of beating us, so we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Well, we're definitely in for a treat coming up here in just a bit. So we will have the starting lineups coming up with your cousin, by the way. Let's talk about that. Tyler Merriam.
Tyler Merriam, yes. My cousin, his dad, Rick, is my uncle, my dad's brother, and we spent a lot of time growing up on the baseball field. Every time we got together, we'd play wiffle ball, everything. It was the Merriam thing. So
how many Hall of Fames has he had?
Probably the Pierre Hall. He ran the Pierre Baseball Association for a lot of years.
Merriam's.
Yeah, in there. So I don't know how many Hall of Fames he's in, but.
And you're in none?
I'm in 0.
Me neither.
So yeah.
We got a ways to go.
My pocketbook, if anybody's asking.
Hey, we do want to say some thank yous out there to all the crew here. A lot of parents here from Watertown, Post 17, that have been working all week long, helping with the field, even during the tournament, helping with the grounds crews and doing just a great job. From everybody involved, everybody to help put this on for a good show here in Watertown, doing outstanding. Thanks to everybody else that's tuning in, the Legion representatives. It's been kind of fun talking to them and learning a little bit more about American Legion Baseball. It is 100th anniversary of American Legion Baseball, so pretty cool. Well, I think we maybe went on a little early again for the pregame show, so I think next time we're going to have to wait. We're supposed to make it quick, but we're killing time.
Floor director is doing this. This is a stretch sign. Stretch. Stretch.
Let's preview our show coming up on KXLG Radio on the Friday morning mass. Jan Robson, Gary, and myself, and of course we're joined by Roger coming up at about 10:15, and we're definitely going to talk about this. But anything else sports-wise, Roger, you think we're going to chat about?
Well, that's basically what's going on. I believe there is a adult open USA softball, a South Dakota slow pitch tournament in town, and you know, Todd Good at Casino, they just can't get a break.
It has been tough on racing.
5 of the last 7 scheduled events were wiped out, and we're probably good till when. Oh, the other thing is, too, the State B Legion tournament. That will start on Friday up in Millbank. So.
And what do you think of Millbank, which is the birthplace of American Legion Baseball? Their new stadium, I hear, is Major League Baseball, like, level infield. I mean, they've made a lot of money and a lot of experts to come in.
They've done a nice job, you know. They actually had a 3 or 4 phase project, and they're only in like the first phase, so I don't think we've seen the total facility yet at its completion, and when it does, I think it's going to be fabulous. So
we talk about this ballpark, Gary, the Watertown Stadium, which is seeing a nice crowd. It's probably been a while since we've seen this big of a crowd for baseball, because there's a lot of seats in here. Have you ever seen a baseball stadium like this in all your travels in sports?
The one that sticks out to me the most that was close like this is in Duluth, Minnesota, where the Dukes played. And so it was old school. They called it was Wade Stadium. It was an old WPA stadium just like this one. But it had a little bit more character. You know, had an outfield, you know, the whole brick was outfield. You know, the WPA brick that they used to build it. And so it encompassed the whole stadium, which made it really cool.
So when you say WPA, what exactly was that?
I can't remember what it was. Back in the third.
Administration started by, was it Eisenhower? Who was the
Roosevelt? Yeah.
During the war to give people jobs.
Yeah. It was back in the 1930s to some.
Yeah. I walk over by Mount Olive Church, it's on sidewalks. You can see WPA will be stamped on one of the blocks.
So now there's a lot of talk. What happens with this stadium? Is this the grand finale? Obviously, we got it for baseball for a while, but football got a brand new stadium over at Allen Mitchell Field. What's going to happen?
I mean, there'd be I don't know what's going to happen here, but there'd be a lot of work to do if you're going to make it a legit baseball stadium, because the outfield is rough. You know, if you could build a permanent outfield fence sign or outfield fence, I mean, there's just a lot of cosmetic things that need to be done. But I think, you know, the structure's solid. I mean, there's just a lot of little things that would have to be done, but a lot of major things too, like the outfield is, you know, not what it should be.
You guys went around when they had the cinder track.
Tell us about that.
No, it's like a hard little surface, and it ran out in about the middle of the outfield to center, and then it came back around the field, and then when they hosted state track meets, the finish line was right by the dugout.
Oh, no kidding.
So when you dove, you got a little scraped up a little bit out in the outfield. And then when I was in Legion Ball, they had a corn fence. It was like about 3 feet high, and somebody hit a ball to center, and no way you could tell if it bounced over, rolled under, or it was a home run, because it was like a 2-foot fence and you're 200 feet from it. But you know, and I've had a lot of people tell me how interested it was. I have a story coming up this week on the last time that we hosted the tournament.
Get in the camera, Roger. You're getting out of focus.
In 1994, and it got moved to the last couple days. Well, they were doing some work, and part of the cinder track would get wet, and then they were doing some concrete work behind home plate, and they had shortened the backstop, and there was just kind of mud all over. And Mitch Johnson, who was the coach of that team, he goes, the only thing I really remember is that I didn't think we had a good enough field to be hosting a state legion tournament. So he was not a fan of this. I've had a lot of other people say it's unique, it's interesting. So,
all right, well, this has been fun, guys. We'll be back coming up at the end of the game for the postgame show, KXLG postgame. Stick around for that. I believe we're ready, so we're going to send it on over to Tyler Merriam for tonight's starting lineups and all the introductions here and the national anthem coming up.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm Brent Nathaniel. He's Nate Russell. It's game number 4, Watertown and Pierre in the opening round of the 2025 Class A American Legion Baseball Tournaments. Let's get our starting lineups for this game. Let's send it over to Tyler Miriam, our public address announcer.
Number 23, J.J. Buckles. Number 24, Braden Hewlett. And number 25, Bridger Babcock. Now the batting order for Pierre. Leading off, playing second base, number 12, Carter Shufflebine. Batting second, right fielder, number 6, Sutton Sonnenschein. Batting third, shortstop, number 7, Dawson Getz. The cleanup batter, first baseman, number 32, Cooper Terwilliger. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 21, Charlie Simpson. Batting sixth, the starting pitcher, number 13, Ridge Leimbach. Batting seventh, center fielder, number 17, Porter Hunsley. Batting eighth, the left fielder, number 11, Trevor Rounds. And batting ninth, the third baseman, number 16, Hudson Stosher. Assistant coaches are J.R. Mayer and Elliot Life, and the head coach at Pierre Postgame is River Iverson. Now let's meet the home team on the scoreboard, the Watertown Post-17 Arrows. Reserves, number 4, Carter Bisker. Number 6, Kane Everson. Number 8, Max Dilla. Number 12, Ashton Rabine. Number 13, Jackson McClemens. Number 20, Nash Berg. And number 21, Cooper Heiser. Now let's meet the batting order for Watertown. Leading off and playing third base, number 2, Hayden Reese. Batting second, right fielder, number 5, Mitch Olson. Batting third, center fielder, number 22, Marcus Pitkin. The cleanup batter, shortstop, number 23, Nathan Briggs. Batting fifth, the starting pitcher, number 16, Caden Rylance. Batting sixth, the catcher, number 10, Jonathan Lake. Batting seventh, second baseman, number 7, Trayton Hemrick. Batting eighth, the first baseman, number 14, Talon Jerkins. And batting ninth, the left fielder, number 1, Cole Hansen. The bat boy, Phoenix Thomas. Assistant coaches, Nick Geffrey and Travis Schmidt, and the head coach of Watertown Post-17 is Ryan Neal. Administering tonight's contest, the three umpires. At home plate, Mike Deming. At first base, Dustin Sperlich. And at third base, John Whitcraft. At this time, we ask that you all please rise and remove your hats for the reading of the American Legion Code of Sportsmanship, to be followed by the singing of our national anthem. To recite the code, representing the South Dakota State American Legion Athletic Commission, Mr. Elton Bleemaster.
Yeah.
Okay, good evening. It's great to see a lot of people, an awful lot of people. With that in mind, I will keep the rules, keep faith with my teammates, keep my temper, keep myself fit, keep a stout heart in defeat, keep my pride under in victory, keep a sound soul, a clean mind, and a healthy body. Good luck.
Please remain standing and honor the flag beyond the fence in left field for our national anthem, which is to be performed by Annie Strickers.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Let's play some baseball. Brent Nathaniel along with you here, along with Nate Russell. Glad to have you along. Post 17 TV here on YouTube as we get set for the final game of the afternoon. Pierre Post 8 and Watertown Post 17. Of course, Watertown, the home team, the hosting team for this year's tournaments. And, you know, what a year to host the tournaments. 8 seniors for Watertown. They're going on, 7 of those seniors are going on to play ball somewhere in South Dakota or Nebraska. This is a very talented post-17 team.
And they've put up a lot of wins this year. They've played some pretty tough tournaments. Their record not necessarily indicative of their entire body of work. I know the phrase, your record is what your record is, but at the same time, when you have that many seniors, you have solid leadership. They put together a really good season so far.
For Pierre Post 8, coming in with a record of 22-14 in 2025, a big improvement over 2024, where they finished 10-30. Coach Riverson says they've been in many dogfights this year. Most games have been decided by 2 runs or less, ended in extra innings or walk-offs, and that is definitely what they have seen when Watertown and Pierre got together earlier this this year. If you throw out that high school game, we'll talk about that coming up here in a while, but these two teams split back on July 11th, so not too long ago. Pierre winning game 1 6-5. That one went into extra innings, and Watertown winning game 2 9-4. But let's talk about that high school play-in game. Stepping in for the first three, it's Shufflebine, Sunshine, and Getz as Cato fires in a first pitch outside. The appeal to first, it'll go for a ball. So 1 ball, no strikes here to Carter Shufflebine as Caden Rylance, the SDSU recruits, threw 19 strikeouts in that high school playoff game back in May. That set a post-17 record for strikeouts in a game. Rylance also has the post-17 record for strikeouts in a year, coming into tonight's game with 139 strikeouts on the year. So SDSU picking up a good one here with Caden Rylance.
A kid that has pretty firm fastball, has good off-speed stuff, as we see that firm fastball there. And he comes out and throws a ton of innings, and that's something at the college level that you really kind of lean on, is a guy that can work.
3-1 to Shufflebine, and boy, I just got to say, the stadium is packed here tonight. This has been as a drop strike 3 as Cato will get his first K of the ball game. No, a free pass, excuse me. That was a ball issued, ball 4, as Shufflebine will reach on the walk issued here by Cato, and that's going to send up Sunshine. Now, going back to the crowds here, this is the first time I've seen this big of a crowd here at the stadium. We've had seniors nights, we had lots of other nights here as well, where it's been a good crowd, but I don't think I've seen a crowd like this here at Watertown Stadium. There is a lot of people here to support the purple and gold.
We're not talking standing room only, but there are not a lot of seats left available, and to see a crowd this big, especially when you host a tournament, is a great sign of what the rest of the week has to offer.
And it's a great sign for the health of Watertown baseball, as we started doing these games here post-17 TV in 2019 with an idea of when Ryan Neal came to us and said, as the strikeout there from Sunshine, that's the first out of the inning, Dawson Getz comes to the plate. Hey, let's get these games on the radio. And the radio led to here post-17 TV, and we've seen the growth of the baseball program as well. You know, you coach 16U. You've seen the growth in the in that program here for Watertown. Baseball in Watertown is alive and well, and it's very healthy here.
Yeah, having 19 kids at the 16U level. We actually started with 24. A few decided they weren't ready to play baseball this 16U year, so we got down to 19. And that's a crazy thing to say for a baseball program, right? We got down to 19.
Gets with an 0-1 counts. Man on first is Shufflebine. That pitch goes down for a strike. 1-1. Pretty easy to see when they call the strikes, as you can hear the crowds. Big swing and a miss. 1-2 for Getz. Now, Rylance pitched game 1 of that split a couple of weeks ago against Pierre, and he told Coach Neal that he wanted to get 20 Ks in that game. He didn't get it. He got like 5 in that one as a grounder right back to first. Juergens able to make the out there. 2 away.
Good choice by Juergens there. He gets that soft grounder, goes 3 unassisted on the out. So a runner is in scoring position, but more than that, he turned, looked, made the value decision. It's not worth trying to start a snowball fight in the middle of the infield by throwing this. Right now, Rylance 1 pitch away, and they can get on the stick here.
Cooper Terwilliger, who is kind of turning heads in the football world. A tight end for football. He's starting to get some national interest as a tight end for football. Of course, Pierre, what can you say about that football program? Didn't make the championship game last year, but boy, oh boy, that football program in Pierre just continues to roll. 0-2 to Terwilliger. with 2 away, top of the first inning, a man on second back. Cato delivers that one in. It's a ball. 1-2 to Terwilliger.
Much to the crowd's dismay, that pitch just a little bit off the corner, not called, so going to get another pitch here.
Ground ball, playable there for Juergens, scoops it up and makes the final outs of the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 left on bag. We're off to the bottom of the first inning, scoreless between Watertown and Pierre. This is Post 17 TV.
Looking for a way to show your school spirit and support the Watertown School District? With the Aero Spirit card from American Bank and Trust, you can do both. Every time you use your Aero Spirit debit card, a portion of your purchase goes right back to the school, helping fund important programs and activities. It's a win for you and a big win for our students. Visit your local American Bank and Trust at 1715 First Avenue Northeast today to sign up and make a difference with every swipe. American Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
In town for the game or just passing through? Well, swing by Country Road Barn, home of the area's best smoked meats, brisket, ribs, pulled pork, all slow smoked to perfection and served with that small town charm. They're open Wednesday through Friday, 5 until 9 p.m., so plan your visit and bring your appetite. It's a true taste of small town South Dakota and worth every mile. The Country Road Barn, just minutes from Watertown and a home run for your hunger. Stay connected with them on their Facebook page or website.
Ridge Loombach will be pitching here for Post 8 as he will face Reese, Olson, and Pitkin, the first 3 for the Arrows here this afternoon. Brent Nathaniel, along with Nate Russell here, Post 17 TV. Glad to have you along, and we're glad to have the folks with Arrow TV producing these games all week long here on Post 17 TV. And also, thanks to the crew at KXLG, pregame, postgame, they're going to go inside the game. Between the 4th inning, we will go inside the game courtesy of KXLG. And make sure you like and follow us on social media as well. The Watertown Baseball Association, Post 17 Baseball, Facebook, Instagram, X. We are all on there, and we're posting updates and everything you could ever want to know about the tournaments on the Watertown Baseball Association's social media. Again, that's Post 17 Baseball. Reese will step into that batter's box. First pitch goes down for a strike. 0-1 to Hayden Reese, the third baseman here for Watertown. Fouled into the nets as Reese now goes into the hole at 0-2 as we got some sad news in the pregame there that Nash Berg broke his finger. It will not be available this week. It was always one of my favorite things to say this year in Post 17 TV was Nash smashes. And he had lots of those this year. As that's a grounder scooped up there. Easy toss over to Terwilliger at first. 1-3, and there's one away for Watertown in the first.
It looked like that ball must have come off the front of the plate. I thought maybe it caught a piece of Reese coming out, but he took off immediately, so didn't give the umpires a chance to make that call. And pretty easy toss over if you're Lembach.
Mitch Olson to the plates. First pitch goes into the dirt, 0-1. That pitch goes down for a ball. 1-1 to Olson. If you're Watertown these early innings, how important is it to really keep your composure even though you're in the state tournaments, you want to be all jacked up to play? How important is it to kind of stay grounded and stay within yourself?
It's especially when you're playing in front of your home crowd. For as many people as we have here, we're displaced, you and I, Brent, from the crowd. We can still feel the relative energy coming from them. And so really a lot of baseball is about letting the game come to you, and that's especially difficult at a time like this.
Hit by pitch, and Watertown will get a man on here in the first. To the plate now is Marcus Pitkin here for the Arrows. One way here in the bottom of the first inning.
And for Olson, I think he tried to sell it a little bit, but the umpire behind the plate, Mike Denning, coming out, and he kind of had already decided. He took the mask off. He didn't point immediately, but he knew right away.
First pitch to Pitkin, popped up and playable for the infield. Terwilliger going to call this one on and then get called off. And grabbing it there is Shufflebind for the second out of the inning. 2 away, and to the plate now is the shortstop, Nathan Briggs.
And that pop-up was what we refer to as a major league pop-up. That one went way up high, and which is what gave Shufflebind time to come over and call off Terwilliger.
First pitch to Briggs, goes for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes here to Nathan Briggs. Oof, had to duck out of the way of that one. 2-0.
Briggs a little more alert after watching Olson get hit, so he was ready.
Lembach tossing in, and that one's going to go down for a ball. 3-0 here to Briggs as we're starting to get some sprinkles here at Watertown Stadium. That's ball 4, and there's 2 on here for Watertown in the first with 2 away. To the plate now is the pitcher, Caden Rylance.
And this, a good decision by Simpson to go out here, go talk to Lembach. We talked about how hard is it for Watertown to keep yourself under that kind of relative pressure threshold. It also matters for Pierre, because when you start to have that crowd really start to build energy and things aren't going right, you have to remember to keep your composure, to keep that from, I'm going to say, spiraling out of control too.
Olson on second, Briggs on first. Cato, the pitcher, steps in. First pitch gets sent directly into left center, drops down for a base hit. That's going to score 1, an RBI single for Caden Rylance as the Arrows get on the board 1-0.
Great piece of hitting there by Rylance to be ready, be on time, and deliver that thing out into the left center gap. Good relay by Hunsley out in center field for Pierre to make sure that Olson's the only one that advances there. You get Briggs over to second base, but no further. So a chance at damage here for Lake as well.
Jonathan Lake into the batter's box. First pitch. And to kind of get out of the way of that one for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes here to Jonathan Lake. Still 2 on for Watertown, 2 away, bottom of the first inning. That one goes down for a ball. 2-0 to Lake.
And with each pitch that's a ball, the crowd builds a little bit more.
Strike the call. 2-1. You hear the crowd didn't like that one.
And despite the crowd's displeasure, that's a really good pitch, painted at the knees.
That'll go for a ball. 3-1. It's a Lake. If we play on, it'll be Trayton Hemrick due up next.
Coach Neal reminding Briggs on second base, hey, probably something to hit here, so be ready. If in this count, Lake can get something that he can get a hold of pretty well. Briggs should be able to score here. Decent speed at second base.
3-1. Ball 4, and that's going to load him up for Watertown here in the first. Briggs to third, Rylance to second, Lake on first, and here is Trayton Hemrick.
And Hemrick, not necessarily your prototypical 7-hitter. He has had some challenges here late in the season, which has moved him down in the order, but really a guy that can get a hold of the baseball.
First pitch goes low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes here to Hemrick.
And Brent, this game has a lot of shades of that Brandon Valley Renner game, where now Lembach's having to throw a lot of pitches under stress just earlier than Carroll had to.
That one goes outside for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes here to Hemrick.
Looks like we're going to get a visit on the mound here for post 8. And really this is, I'm going to say, largely just getting Lembach to kind of settle in.
I want to thank our great crew with Aero TV. There you see him there, doing a fantastic job all tournament long. Thanks to the crew at Aero TV for producing these games. Of course, you can like them on their YouTube page. They are the home of Watertown Aero football and basketball and volleyball. They do a fantastic job at Aero TV. So make sure you like us, Post 17 TV, and like them, Aero TV as well on YouTube. Trayton Hemrick takes in that pitch for a strike. 2-1. Bags loaded, 2 away here, bottom of the first inning. Arrows have already sent 1 across in the inning. Strike there. 2-2.
Now if you're Hemrick, you're focused less on hitting the ball as hard as possible, and now it's about, can I get this thing in play and perhaps get Pierre to have to field it. If you're Pierre, you're 1 pitch away now.
That one goes low, fills up the count, 3-2 to Hemrick. Lembach fires in, and that is a little grounder, going to go foul, and some good hands there by Coach Neal to scoop that one up.
And Coach Neal going with the backhand flip to the third baseman. The third baseman not on the same page. Having that torn rotator cuff, I think Ryan doesn't want to do any throwing to the baseball.
Full counts, 2 away, bags loaded. Lembach fires in, big swing and a miss, strike number 3, and the final outs of the inning. But the Arrows send 1 across. They will strand them loaded. We're off to the second inning, 1-0 Arrows. This is Post 17 TV.
As one of the nation's strongest financial organizations, First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card have the strength to do good. We support nearly 700 organizations and nonprofits. Our employees give more than 30,000 volunteer hours annually. And we are continually seeking ways to make South Dakota an even better place to live. It's the Premier way. First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card.
Infinity Fun is the place to be. They got trampolines, they got bowling, they got mini golf, they got games, they got food that's insanely good. Infinity Fun, they got trampolines, they got bowling, they got mini golf, they got games, they got food that's insanely good. Infinity Fun.
Open 7 days a week in Watertown.
Do something to launch your future at Lake Area Tech. It's a living, working, thought-producing environment to help you level up in the workforce. Combined with hands-on training and real-world experience, You'll be ready to find a high-paying career you'll love right out of school, the way 99% of our graduates do. It's the best return on your college investment, the quickest path to your future success. Lake Area Tech, the start of something new.
Top of the second inning, Watertown leads Pierre 1-0. Pierre will send the middle of the order, 5, 6, and 7. Simpson, Leimbach, and Hunsley due up as Caden Rylance continues his crusade up on the hill with 17 pitches going into this inning.
And really, 17 pitches versus 25, which is what Leimbach had for Pierre in the first. That's not a huge, it's one, maybe two batters, but really the difference in how those pitches had to get thrown. Rylance avoiding traffic on the bases. Leimbach spending a lot of time with a lot of traffic on the bases.
First pitch goes down for a strike into Simpson. Ball there. 1-1 the counts. Popped up and we'll go foul. 1-2.
And if you're Rylance, you don't want to spend a bunch of time trying to be too fine here. Throw something that lives on the edge, but nothing too fancy.
Ground ball, playable, scooped up, tossed over in time. Lake to Juergens for the first down of the inning.
And I can't state how strongly that play is impressive, because for Lake to come out from behind the plate that quickly, get that ball collected in one grab and get that down to first base, you got to be pretty quick to get out there.
Yeah, look how quick he got out there and just threw his mask off and made that first out of the inning. Leimbach will step into the batter's box here. The 1-0 counts. Swung on and missed, makes it 1-1.
And for Rylance, he did exactly what he needed to do. Got soft contact on that single pitch.
That is going to be sent into right field, and coming on is Olsen in foul territory, and he will make the grab for the second out of the inning. A great grab there by Olsen over in right field.
That ball kind of hangs up going towards the foul line, gets past it. Olsen, really good speed and really good range to get over there. When you have a pitcher like Rylance on the mound, it gets you that little extra boost to go make that next play like that.
Peter Hunsley into the batter's box, takes in a first pitch ball, and Watertown kind of prides themselves on having really fast outfielders. That's been really the MO for Watertown since I've been calling games, and that one goes for a ball.
And there's something to be said for having a corner outfielder that can really mash the baseball. And I mean, you wouldn't think that that's what Olsen does, but he does a pretty good job of it. But when you have defensive speed the way that Watertown does, you take away a lot more runs than you really expect to generate then at that point.
2-1 the count here to Hunsley with 2 away, top of the second inning. Cato at 26 pitches. Sends that one down for a strike. 2-2. Rylance just the 1K here on the evening. 139 of those coming into the ball game here. All-time record for Watertown.
Really good piece of batting there by Hunsley, because I don't know how he got a hold of that thing to at least foul it off, but it was a good job.
That pitch is going to fill up the count at 3-2. Swung on and missed. Strike number 3. The second K for Cato, and the final outs of the inning. Pierre goes down in the order. We're off to the bottom of the second inning with the Arrows on top 1-0. There's Cato's great strikeouts and a big swing there to end this inning of play. You're watching Post 17 TV.
Looking for family fun all in one place? Then come out to Legends. Tee off on their mini golf course. Race your crew in go-karts. and strike up some laughs with mini bowling. Kids love the arcade, and parents, they've got you covered with cold beer and amazing food. And don't forget the cherry on top, SDSU ice cream. It's all happening at Legends, where fun meets flavor. Highway 212, Watertown.
They say there's no guarantees in life. But who's they? And do they have Midco Internet? Now there's a guarantee. So let's go. Let's go reliable. Let's go resilient. Let's go beyond.
Midwest Foam and Coatings LLC is a family-owned and operated full-service insulation company specializing in spray foam application and energy efficiency. They offer all types of insulation like spray foam, blown-in cellulose, blown-in fiberglass, and fiberglass bats. Midwest Foam and Coatings also does insulation removal along with specialty coating that can restore rubber and metal roof systems. Visit their website for more information at mwfoam.com. Good luck to the Watertown Post 17 baseball team from Midwest Foam and Coatings.
Juergens, Hansen, and Reese due up here for the Arrows in this half inning of work as Juergens has a 1-1 count from Lembach, who has 26 pitches here in this inning. Coming into this inning, I should say. Rain starting to pick up here a little bit more at Watertown Stadium. Starting to see some lightning off in the distance as well as that one goes for a ball. 1-2 the count here to Juergens. Got him there, strike number 3 and the first out of the inning. The number 9 hitter steps to the plate now in Cole Hansen.
Really good pitch there by Lembach. It looked like a little cutter, a little slider, something off speed. Got Juergens kind of guessing and just left him frozen in the box.
Bunch shown as that one's going to go foul. 0-1 to Hansen, and this is kind of what we've seen from Hansen this year. He is really Watertown's bunting specialist. He can really put them down with the best of them and run out bunts, and he is very much a specialist in the bunting department. That pitch goes down for a strike as he'll fall in the hole now at 0-2.
And the hard part with being such a specialist like that is it kind of removes the mystery from what you might do.
Ground ball foul. Count is still 0-2.
And so you saw him show the first time around, all of the mystery went away at that point, and so now he's swinging away in a defensive position at this point, down 0-2.
Big swing and a miss, strike number 3, the second out of the inning, and the third K for Lembach. As we go back up to the top of the order, second time through the order, it's Hayden Reese.
And Reese last time up, kind of bouncing one off the front of the plate, grounding out to the pitcher. Hopefully he can get a little bit more solid contact this time. Good clean inning if you're Lembach so far.
First pitch goes into the dirt for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes here to Hayden Reese. Swung on that one in the dirt. 1-1.
And that swing really a product of living low with his pitches for Lembach and getting Reese to have to chase something that I think again was that little cutter slider, and it just dove away from him.
1-2 the count here to Reese. Ground ball, playable for the third baseman, through his fingers and reaching will be Olsen. A routine play for Stoser at third, and he just can't scoop that one up, and Reese will reach.
And that's going to be a tough one. As an official scorer, you're looking at that going, does he actually get him out if he collects that ball? He collects it on the run for Stoser. It's hard to also take a hit away from Reese for beating that out. I think you have to give him the single there.
And officially they will, so it'll be a single there for Reese. Mitch Olson steps to the plate now. First pitch goes down for a ball. Lembach tosses that one. We'll get a throw to second. It'll not be in time as anyway got hit by a pitch. There was Olson. So Olson hit by a pitch. Reese will take second bag, and with 2 away here at the bottom of the second inning, Watertown's got 2 on, and that'll bring to the plate Marcus Pitkin.
A little bit of good news, bad news there if you're the post 17 Arrows. For Reese, you don't get the stolen base anymore because of the hit by pitch, but you do have now 2 runners on instead of 1.
First pitch goes low and in the dirt for a ball.
Lembach losing the feel for it here. I'm not sure if it's a balance issue or if he's just rushing himself, but the last 4 pitches have all been in the dirt and had to get dug out by Simpson.
Seems like he's kind of driving it a little too much there as that one goes for a ball as well, 2-0.
Reese getting a really big secondary there, almost drawing a back pick from Simpson.
And get out of the way, ball 3. If we play on, it'll be Nathan Briggs due up next year for the Arrows.
And for Lembach, doing a good job getting 2 outs and then getting into another little bit of 2-out trouble here.
That one's going to be ball 4. A 4-pitch walk issued here by Lembach. And now the bags are loaded for Watertown. Nathan Briggs will step to the plate here for the Arrows.
So a 2-out RBI opportunity here for Briggs. If you're Lembach, you just have to live on the fact of if I attack the zone, I'm still just 1 pitch away. I have 2 outs. I just need the last.
First pitch goes down for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes here to Briggs. Reached on that base on balls back in the first inning. Low there again and outside. 2 balls, no strikes, and it's been 5 straight balls issued here by Lembach.
So Brent, I don't know how much college baseball you watch, but Texas A&M University is known for having kind of a hostile environment for visiting teams to come in. And so if we were at Texas A&M right now, you would be hearing solid chants from our fans as far as ball 5, and they have had a pitcher all the way up to ball 16 before, and they just keep letting them hear it. There's a lot of white hats over there in the stands for Watertown. I wouldn't be surprised if we get to 6 or 7 that we start hearing that.
There's a strike issued, 2-1 here to Briggs.
Really good job by Simpson there, going out, talking to Lembach, and getting him just refocused on, here's a target, you have 2 outs, get back in the zone.
That's going to be sent foul into the Arrows dugouts. 2-2 to Briggs. Lembach at 46 pitches here for the Eights. He'll step off, recollect himself.
Lembach had agreed to a pitch and then decided, nah, maybe that's not the one I want.
Sends that one up and away. Full count now here to Briggs. 3-2. If we play on, it'll be Caden Rylance. And a walk will run in. Two away. Bags are loaded. Here's the pitch. That one's going to go up high, and a walk is going to come in. 2-0 Arrows. That is the second walk issued here in this inning as Reach will touch home plate. Olson to third, Pitkin to second. And after starting this inning with 2 straight Ks, Lembach has kind of lost his control and is struggling to find it again. First pitch in to Rylance. Goes down for a strike. 0-1 to Cato. Had a single, an RBI single back in the first for the Arrows.
And if you're Lembach, this is not the part of the order you want to be dealing with at this moment.
That pitch outside, 1-1. You could just kind of see the frustration out there on the eights. Ground ball, it's scooped up there by the second baseman, and the out made. There it was, gets to Scheffelbein for the outs at second bag, and that'll be the final out of the inning. Watertown sends another one across, leading the eights 2-0. This is Post 17 TV.
Baseball, small towns, and strong communities. It's what South Dakota is all about. And at Sharp Automotive in Watertown, we're proud to stand behind the Legion State Tournament and everything it represents. Whether you're in the stands or watching from miles away, know that Sharp is committed to quality vehicles, friendly service, and supporting the next generation. Explore more at sharpautos.com. Sharp Automotive, where you can always count on us.
Between working on our farm and being a surgical nurse here at Prairie Lakes for 43 years, my shoulders have been through a lot. I needed a different kind of surgery. It's called a reverse total shoulder replacement. Different shoulders are different. With surgeons like Dr. Johnston here in Watertown, I didn't need a different city, just a different plan.
Prairie Lakes Healthcare System. Your health, our mission.
Stop into Roy's Sports Shop for the newest and latest apparel, footwear, and equipment for your sports. Whether it's a new bat from Marucci, a glove from Rawlings, a new pair of shoes from Under Armour or Adidas, or a pair of Oakley sunglasses, Roy's Sports Shop has what you need. Check out their online spirit store for apparel from your favorite team or school. Let them know if you'd like to start a new online store for your team or organization. Roy's Sports Shop is a local business that has served our area for the past 50 years. Roy's Sports Shop, East Highway 212, Watertown.
Beautiful shot of Watertown Stadium here this evening. It is a nice night for baseball as we are in the top of the third inning. 2-0 Arrows. Rounds, Stoser, and Scheffelbein due up in this half inning. First pitch goes down for a ball into Trevor Rounds. Oh, got him right on the helmet, hit by a pitch, and Pierre will get a man on here in the third. Oof, hope he's okay after that one. Shakes it off, and let's see where it got him here. Saw it coming, just kind of grazed him, maybe got more of his shoulder than his helmet, but man, oof. Still not fun. If it was you or me, we'd be off to the hospital.
You know, I've had my fair share of hit by pitches, so I might be able to make it not to the hospital, but I'd definitely be taking a second to stretch that out, because taking a pitch from an SDSU pitcher, no matter where you take it, is going to sting.
Stoser takes in a first pitch for a strike. I was up on my roof yesterday because the hail kind of popped a leak in my kitchen. And the entire time I'm looking down going, nope, nope. Going to the hospital if I'm going down on this one. We're going to throw to first, and did he get him over there? No, save. As Rounds had quite the lead over on first, and recognizing that, Lake able to kind of toss it over there and kind of keep him honest. 1-1 the count.
I'm a little curious if Rounds was supposed to take off there as big a secondary as he had. Lake, good job getting that throw down there. This is where not having Berg, who's been the normal first baseman, and getting Juergens instead kind of shows itself.
Little bunt there by Stoser, as that one is grabbed by Juergens. First out of the inning, but doing his job, getting Trevor Rounds over to second bag, one away, and we go back up to the top of the order to Scheffelbein.
Stoser doing the job there, getting the sacrifice down, moving the runner up. It's still a 2-0 ball game, so this guy at second still important. Going back to the back pick there, Berg maybe gets that tag snapped down where the runner's at. Juergens maybe still learning some of the ropes of playing first base. That tag goes high and doesn't really get a shot at picking off Rounds.
Berg, usually the everyday first baseman, but broke his finger, will miss the tournament here. He's going to go on to play baseball at DSU. Berg will. 2-0 the counts, and that's one of the things for this Arrows team. They have 8 seniors. 7 of them are going to go on to play ball, and the one that's not going to go on to play ball is going to be in the Applied Mathematics program at South Dakota State University.
I'm going to be honest, that's a level of academia that I'm not even allowed to talk about. I'm not smart enough. So applied mathematics is something well beyond anything I'm going to accomplish.
Max Dilla going to be going for applied mathematics for Watertown. As a walk is issued here, base on balls, 2 on here for Pierre. So the Eights now have something cooking. Tying run sits on first bag as Sutton Sunshine will step to the plate here for Pierre.
And if you're the Eights, really good patience here. This is something that when you have a pitcher like Rylance, who has a really big fastball, has a good, I'm going to say secondary pitch, but he's dominantly a strikeout guy. He's going to throw a lot of pitches. And so if you can be patient and pick your spots, you can get him to get a little erratic.
First pitch goes down for a strike into Sunshine, who did strikeouts in his last at-bats in the first. That one up high, 1-1.
And in a tournament format like this, this is where your guys that throw a lot of pitches because they get a lot of strikeouts really start to have trouble with value, maybe is the best way to put it. And that's not to diminish what Rylance does because he's incredible. But when you have a very limited amount of time and you only have a finite number of pitches you can throw, being a strikeout guy is tough.
Swung on and missed, strike number 3. And the second out of the inning, the third K for Cato in this ball game. To the plate now is Dawson Getz. Still 2 on for Pierre. Rounds on second, Shufflebine on first.
And if you're Coach Neal, that's how you need Caden to get his strikeouts, is get them in 4 pitches, 3 pitches. Be as efficient as possible with it.
First pitch goes down for a strike into Getz.
And if you're the Eights, that's the exact opposite of how you can allow it to happen. You have to find a way to just spoil pitches and drive that count up.
That one into the dirt. 0-2 as Getz falls into the hole.
This is the exact spot I'm talking about. Now, if you're Getz, even if you don't get on base and the inning ends here, if you find a way to make Rylance throw 3-4 more pitches, that's a good thing.
That is a ground ball through the gap into right field. Going to be trouble. We're going to throw to home. What's the play? It's going to be safe as the Eights will get 1 on the board here in the third. Trevor Rounds will come in and beat the throw. What a great toss there by the Arrows, but a better run there by Rounds as here he comes in. A little high throw, didn't quite get into the glove of Lake and couldn't quite make that out. So Getz will get the RBI. Shufflebine will head over to second bag. First pitch goes down for a ball. Into Terwilliger, 1-0.
And the hard part is it's a great toss by Olson. But if you hit a cutoff guy there, you maybe hold those runners to first and second, as opposed to now it's second and third with Terwilliger up, which is a problem spot, to say the least.
Strike the call, 2-1. Tying run for the Eights. It's on second bag. That's Shufflebine. That is a ground ball, going to be swung on and missed. Strike is the call. 2-2 the count here to Terwilliger.
And if you're the Eights, Terwilliger being the guy up is exactly who you want in a position like this. Hopefully he finds a way to come through here.
Big swing and a miss. Strike number 3, the 4th K for Cato, and the final out of the inning. But the Eights get one on the board. They will strand 2 on bag. We're off to the bottom of the 3rd.
In the heart of South Dakota, where community and traditions thrive, ReliaBank has been a trusted presence for over a century. From our humble beginnings in 1920, we've grown alongside our communities, committed to financial success and community betterment. At ReliaBank, hometown customer service isn't just a promise, it's our legacy. Your success is our success, so let's keep growing together. Today, tomorrow, and for the next 100 years. Experience banking where hometown values still matter.
Your starting lineup for KXLG Radio. Leading off at the front desk, Lori Kane. On the air, your power hitters, Jeremy Herbold, Ben Dilla, Jan Robson, Tim Williams, Gary Weckworth, Robin Givens, Doreen Foster, and Jaden Thomas. If it's news, Steve Jurens hits it out of the park. In sales, your closers, Andy Turback, Ben Dilla, Nicole Kraus, and Brody Reese. And skipper, Melissa Herbold. KXLG, your locally owned community radio station, still undefeated.
Lake, Hemrick, and Juergens due up for Watertown here. Bottom of the 3rd inning, 2-1 Arrows. I'm Brett Nathaniel. He's Nate Russell. We're glad to have you along. Post 17 TV in a production with the crew with Arrow TV, producing all the games here at the tournament this week. And we'll go inside the game with KXLG between the first in the mid-4th inning, I'm trying to say there, as they'll have an interview and go inside the game with some of the players and fans here at the ball game. Jonathan Lake has a 2-0 count as he'll step into that batter's box. Rain coming down here at Watertown Stadium as that one goes outside. 3-0 the count here to Lake.
And if you're Limbach, you kind of need to just execute one pitch at a time here. The ball's going to start to get a little slick, especially if you start spiking it. And if you are the defense around him, you need to be able to be ready to be able to field this ball and just make a strong throw across. It has to be clean in order to keep this runner from reaching.
3-1. Ground ball foul. 3-2 here to Jonathan Lake, the catcher for Watertown. Limbach coming into the inning, 54 pitches. He'll request a new ball. Rain a little bit harder here at the stadium. Don't think it's anything that we're going to have to call the ball game, but you can see the kids starting to go into some dugouts here. Some people starting to go underneath the canopy at the stadium a little bit. That pitch going to go down for ball 4. So base on balls, and Watertown will get a man on here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. To the plate now is Trayton Hemrick.
And again, going back to the pitch counts, right? Limbach at 54 coming into the inning. Rylance ending last inning at 52, but again, the amount of stress that they've had to throw these pitches under is a lot different.
Bunt shown. Ball to call. 1-0 to Hemrick, who struck out in his last at-bats in the first.
I like the idea of bunting here. The grass is going to be wet. Force the Eights to field this baseball. If you're the Eights, make sure you get an out through it.
Strike to be the call. 1-1 to Hemrick.
Denning going to say that he offered at it. Something that's dangerous here. Hemrick's trying to almost Ichiro style get out there. If he gets outside of the box completely with a foot and makes contact, that's an automatic out, dead ball. So Lake doesn't even get a chance to advance on that.
2-1 the counts. No, they're going to switch it around. So now it'll be a 1-2. Initially they added at a ball, then changed the call. So 1-2 the counts.
The 8's asking for an appeal down to the first base umpire. The first base umpire saying there was enough there to declare that Hemrick offered at the ball. So instead of it being a ball on the call, it became an offered strike.
Strike number 3, and Hemrick will strike out looking, and it's the first out of the inning. That'll bring to the plate Talon Jurgens here for the Arrows.
Limbach appears to be getting a little bit more comfortable out there on the mound this inning. Had Hemrick not seeing the baseball terribly well that at bat.
That'll go down for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes here to Jurgens. Low. 2-0.
And that time, I think Limbach expected Lake maybe to be stealing. Not a quick pitch by definition, but he was quick with the hold there. Kind of rushed himself through that one.
Ball 3 called, 3-0 to Jurgens.
And it does feel a little bit like Limbach's just rushing everything to the plate and not staying back.
That's going to be a strike called as Jurgens thought it was ball 4, went out of the box. 3-1 the count.
And the crowd sure thought it was ball 4 as well.
That's going to take a hop and get past Simpson, and heading to first will be Jurgens. On his way to second is Lake. So there's 2 on now for Watertown as we send up the number 9 hitter now, Cole Hansen.
Again, a little bit more stress for Limbach this inning. You'd like to see him get out of this if you're the 8s. Try and limit it, maybe get a ground out here in the first couple of pitches. And now at the plate is Hansen, the bunt specialist. The ground's a little bit wet.
First pitch goes down for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes into Hansen. Did strike out in his last at-bat and the second. Bunt there, little dribbler goes foul. There's a little too much English on that one.
Well, and he tried to put it on the grass, and it caught that lip. And so between the amount of spin he put on it and then hitting just the wrong spot, if you're Hansen there, it kicks foul. I think he had the right idea. Interesting that he waited to pitch 2 to maybe try and surprise them or ambush them a little bit with it. With 1 out, I wouldn't be surprised if he tries it again.
Winner of this one gets Harrisburg tomorrow at 7 o'clock here at the stadium. Bunt shown, and ball the call. 2-1.
And I think probably just as important, the winner gets Harrisburg, but the loser has to go take on Yankton, the 2 seed overall.
That'll be the 1 o'clock game tomorrow afternoon. Bunt there again goes foul. 2-2 to Hansen, and that's one of the things about this tournament. It is really wide open. There are no gimmies. Even if you lose one, there is no gimme down in the loser out side of the bracket, as Post 22 was upset earlier today. Yankton was upset earlier today. You might call it an upset, 5 seed over a 4 seed, runner over Branded Valley, but boy, it's been a day of upsets here at the stadium, as that one is a grounder, scooped up. The out at third will be made, and there's 2 outs now. Hansen will reach on the fielder's choice. Lake will be the out at third. So 2 away.
A good job by Limbach coming off the mound there. Hansen, that bunt just a little bit too strong. Put it in a great spot for Limbach to be able to get there, get his body around, and get that throw over to third. So not getting the job done in terms of advancing runners, but he is safe at first as well.
That pitch is going to get past the catcher into the backstop, and everybody's going to move over a bag. Talon over to third, Hansen to second, as Hayden Reese now has a 1-0 count.
And that pitch spiking into the dirt and going to the backstop, probably a result of the wet ground that the bunt created on that baseball.
That pitch, a ball. 2 balls, no strikes here to Reese. Just kind of see it on the camera. Rain coming down here at the stadium at a pretty good clip. It's a steady rain. That one is going to be delivered into center field. Finding it will be Hunsley. That'll be the final out of the inning. Watertown gets no runs. They will strand 2 on bag. We're off to the 4th, 2-1 Arrows. This is Post 17 TV.
Good luck to the Watertown Post 17 baseball team from Tony Arnold Construction. If you're looking for a general contractor for custom homes in and around the Watertown area, or are in need of residential, commercial home, and commercial home remodeling, give Tony Arnold Construction a call at 605-880-8497 or email TonyArnoldConstruction@gmail.com. Good luck to the Watertown Post 17 baseball team from Tony Arnold Construction.
Baseball fans, stop into the Wheel Inn for some home-cooked food. Open 7 days a week, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner with the best staff in town. Plus, online ordering is available. Visit WatertownWheelIn.com to order your favorites. Come to the Wheel Inn before or after the game for your home-cooked favorites. Open daily, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Highway 20 in Watertown. Good luck to the Watertown Arrows in the State A Legion Tournament from the staff at the Wheel Inn.
That's a great hot beef combinations from the Wheel Inn between these 2 games. As we are off to the 4th inning, 2-1. The Arrows lead Pierre here this evening. I'm Brent Nathaniel. He's Nate Russell. We're going to go inside the game with KXLG following this half inning of work, as we'll find out what's going on here at Watertown Stadium as they do a little bit of work on the field to try to get ready as the rain is starting to let's say it's lightening up just a little bit here. It's just kind of a nice little steady rain, but the field crew putting in some work, putting in some miles. And boy, I was here a couple of times over the last 2 weeks at the stadium, and they have really made the grass just look amazing. They've made the pitcher's mound look amazing. They have really done amazing work at the stadium to get ready for this tournament.
And between sod work, they've done some work to the mound, a little bit around home plate. We actually, as the 16U team, we're supposed to close out our season here. And in order to keep this field up to shape for this state tournament, they actually bumped us over to foundation for the last week. So while we didn't get to experience the high-quality field to end our season, to be here to experience the state tournament is awesome.
Simpson, Limbach, and Hunsley due up for the 8s this half inning of work as first pitch will go into Simpson for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes here to Charlie Simpson, who grounded out at his last at bat in the second.
Check 1-2. 1-2. 1-2.
Strike the call there. 1-1 the count.
And if you're post 8, we talked about this at the beginning, right? This game is, apart from Limbach's pitch count, probably exactly where you want it. 2-1. A little bit of a grinder, right? This is where all that experience from late inning wins or at least close games comes into play.
1-2 the count here to Simpson. Big swing and a miss. Strike number 3. The 5th K for Cato and the first out here in the 4th inning. Rich Limbach will step to the plate now here for the Eights.
And that, again, another example of if you're the Eights, you need these at-bats to start to extend. You need to find ways to at least get the bat on the ball.
First pitch fouled away, 0-1.
I'm not going to say it's worst case scenario the longer that the Eights allow Rylance to go in this game, but you definitely don't want to face him for 6-7 innings.
Pop up and we'll go foul. 0-2 to Limbach. There go the kids trying to get that foul ball. That one, I believe, went out of the stadium. That one takes a hop. 1-2.
And it looks like the rope that's out there near what's normally the main entrance was enough to contain them. That or somebody was already out there waiting for it.
1-2 the count here to Limbach. That pitch going to go outside, make it even at 2-2. Didn't quite get the pitch he wanted there. Fills up the count at 3-2. 60 pitches now for Cato. Work quick as that is a grounder, and it's easily scooped up there by Cato, tossing it over to Juergens for the second out of the inning. That'll bring to the plate Peter Hunsley.
Really good snare there by Rylance. You're already kind of coming off the mound that way. That's glove hand side, but quick reflexes. That ball was not softly hit, that's for sure. And so to stick his glove out, snare that thing, and then just get the underhand toss over to Juergens.
First pitch goes down for a ball into Hunsley, who struck out in his last at-bats in the second. That one also goes down for a ball. 2-0 here to Hunsley.
Rylance coming off the mound to field that. Got to get his rhythm back.
3-0 now here to Hunsley.
Going to take a little stroll, try and get that focus back in there after having to snare that last one.
Got it there for a strike, 3-1. Cato works quickly, fires that one outside for ball 4. So a 2-out walk issued by Rylance, and a man will be on first here for the Eights. That's their tying run, and to the plate will bring Trevor Rouse.
And this happens sometimes for pitchers, right? You get to that 2 outs, especially as he made a pretty decent play there for out number 2, and you start to relax a little bit instead of having that focus.
First pitch goes down for a strike. 0-1 to Trevor Rouse, who was hit by the pitch in his last at-bats in the third inning. That one goes low, 1-1.
Good patience here from the Eights, drawing the walk, getting to an even count again here.
Big swing and a miss. 1-2.
Now again, if you're the Eights, you need rounds to find a way, spoil a few pitches, be patient, but also be ready to hit if it's there.
That pitch goes high for ball 2. 2-2 here to Rounds.
Much to that fan's dismay, it did not sit.
Thought we were playing Mortal Kombat there for a minute. 3-2 the counts. 2 away here, top half of this fourth inning. Rylance got the swing and the miss. Strike number 3. the final out of the inning. Pierre will not get a runner on. They will strand one on bag, 2-1 Arrows here as we head to the mid of the fourth inning. It's time now for KXLG Inside the Game, and for that we head over to Jeremy Herbold.
All right, we're back here with the KXLG Inside the Game, and we're talking with two special guests right now during this exciting game with Watertown. And Watertown big fans here. We got Jason Hunt and Tia Hunt. Hi, guys.
Hello. How's it going, Jeremy?
Good.
Thanks for having us.
Well, thank you. And you guys are very important with United Way this year in Watertown. Tell me what's going on.
Yes, we are the 2025 and 2026 campaign chairs for the Watertown Area United Way.
What does that mean?
So as the campaign chairs, we're out there helping United Way with whatever they need to help encourage to reach our goal this year of $655,000.
Very cool, and you guys are definitely Arrow supporters. You go to everything. How many wardrobe or how many clothing in your wardrobe do you have that's purple and gold?
Well, my wife told me I might need to start limiting what I have there. Let's just put it that way.
Rummage sale time?
But I need more clothing, so.
There you go. What do you think of the state tournament? What a great event, huh?
It is. Stadium looks great, good turnout, awesome turnout tonight. So keep it coming, Watertown. Come out and support Post 17 and catch any other games that are happening all week long.
Yep, right here on Post 17 TV if you can't make it here to the stadium. And support United Way, right, Jason?
That's right. Support United Way. We'll be starting our campaign this year for 25-26, trying to get that $655,000 to support United Way.
Great job, guys, and well-deserving campaign shares this time. So awesome. All right, we'll send it back to the guys here as we get back to the ball game. Thank you very much for KXLG. I'm Jeremy Herbold.
As we head to the bottom of the fourth inning, it is the 2, 3, and 4 hitters here for the Arrows in this half inning of work. Olsen, Pitkin, and Briggs. First pitch goes down for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes here to Olsen. That one goes down for a ball, 2-0. Our main cam, that outfield cam you see, it's got that glare due to the sunsets. So that's why you're seeing kind of that glare right there. That pitch goes down for a strike, 2-1.
As easy as a thing it sounds like to do, we like we talked about in between games, just pick the field up, just turn it slightly.
Hit by pitch as Olsen will get on for the Arrows here in the fourth inning. Yeah, we were discussing, you know, what would we like to see done here with Watertown Stadium, and you know, it really, we don't know what's going to happen here at the stadium. Of course, the football team going to play at that beautiful new field, Allen Mitchell Field, right next to the high school this upcoming year. And, you know, we're going to be here for Post-17 baseball for the foreseeable future, but we just don't know what's going to happen here with the stadium and Watertown Stadium. Bunt shown, pulled back, strike the call here for Marcus Pitkin.
If you're Watertown, leadoff batter is on in Olsen. Olsen, good speed, so guy to keep an eye on. Pitkin here, kind of a candidate to get loose a little bit.
Bunt shown. That one's going to go down. What a beautiful bunt. We'll toss over to first in time for that first out of the inning, but doing his job as Olsen will head over to second bag. And this is kind of Ryan Neal's game. He likes to play that small ball, if you will, and really advance those runners.
And a really good job there by Pitkin to get that bunt not only down, but get it down where Olsen was never really in danger of being put out there. That ball kicked off that new sod and right back to Simpson to record the out, but the sacrifice works.
First pitch goes down for Briggs for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes here to Nathan Briggs.
And a really interesting strategy by Neal, just given that it's the 3 batter.
Strike the call. 1-1 to Briggs.
Traditionally, you're going to bunt with your 1 and 2, probably your 8 and 9. Once you get into that 3, 4, 5, those are the guys that are supposed to be putting the barrel on the ball. And that call there, maybe by Coach Neal to help Pitkins see the baseball a little bit better. Getting a bunt down requires you to see it the entire way. So maybe a way of helping Marcus start to have better at-bats later on.
2-1 the count here to Briggs. Strike the call, evens it up, 2-2. Lembach, 85 pitches. That is going to be sent right back to the first baseman. We'll get a throw to second and double play. As not getting back in time was Olsen, and Pierre gets the double play to get out of the inning. We're off to the top of the fifth inning. Arrows on top of Pierre, 2-1 off of this great double play here by Pierre Post 8 to end out this inning. You're watching Post 17 TV.
William Neal & Company would like to wish the Watertown Post 17 Legion baseball team good luck this season. Another great team for all your auditing, accounting, and tax preparation needs are the professionals at William Neal & Company, a full-service accounting firm serving the area for over 50 years. Offices located in Watertown and Clark. Give them a call today at 886-6028. That's 886-6028.
The best way to get the most out of college is to do the most while you're in it. At Lake Area Tech, you'll learn in living, working environments with hands-on training and real-world experience to prepare for a high-paying career you love right out of school. From the moment you step on campus until you're one of our graduate success stories, when you start something here, you'll get an education you can really put to work and the best return on your investment. Lake Area Tech, the start of something new.
Glacier Lakes Power Sports and Golf is your indoor golf destination in Watertown, South Dakota. We have 4 golf simulators available to rent 7 days a week. Call us at 605-954-4080 to reserve your time, or visit our website at glpowersports.com.
The 9-1-2 hitters due up here for the eights as we head to the top of the fifth inning. Arrows on top of the eights, 2-1. I'm Brent Nathaniel. His name Russell. Glad to have you along. Post 17 TV. Glad to have you along as well. Thanks to the crew at Arrow TV and KXLG Radio for helping us out all this week, making sure these broadcasts are top notch here on Post 17 TV. Stoser steps into that batter's box. Rylance had 73 pitches, and a first pitch will go into Stoser for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. That one going to go down for a strike at 1-1.
And Brent, you and I were just talking in between innings there. If you are Leinbach in your post 8, that was a beautiful inning to save a bunch of pitches, really, for Leinbach.
That one going to go into the seats. 1-2 the count to Stoser, and I've noticed Cato starting to move a little, starting to pitch a little quicker here in this inning.
And sometimes that's just about the guys that you're facing and trying to change kind of their comfort level in the box. Not so much about you trying to find rhythm, but more throw them out of theirs.
That pitch will go high, 2-2 to Stoser.
This is the hard part about that is you are changing your own rhythm, and sometimes that can be counterproductive for you getting in the zone.
Fouled into the parking lot again. Count still at 2-2. There go the kids again. Off to go get that ball. That one's outside. Going to fill up the count now at 3-2.
And as a hitter facing a guy like Rylance, that pitch comes up and in, your whole body tenses up, and you just hope you got out of the way.
That's going to be a ball 4, a leadoff walk issued here in the fifth inning, and that is the tying run for Pierre Post 8 here in the fifth. We'll go back up to the top of the order. This is the 3rd time through the order for Pierre. It's Carter Shufflebind now. And a quick meeting of the minds on the mound here from Coach Neal, and we're going to see a pitching change here for the Arrows. And not a bad move here by Coach Neal as Rylance going to go 80 pitches here in this game number 1. So Cato gets the ovation as he heads into the dugouts. And Watertown going to bring in McClemens. McClemens very much a versatile pitcher for Watertown. He's really, during the season, was the number 3 pitcher for Watertown, but did see time coming out of the bullpen. So not a bad call here for Watertown to go to that bullpen and go to McClemens, as the afternoon will be done for Rylance. 4 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned, 6 Ks, and 4 walks. That'll be the line for Cato here on the afternoon.
And Coach Neal electing to keep Cato's bat in the lineup. It looks like Cato's going to go to first base, take over for Juergens. Have to believe that probably sets up Juergens to pitch tomorrow. Part of that exchange there. So that gets Juergens off his feet and gets him a little bit of rest before he's got to try and go tomorrow, I imagine. I'm speculating that. Pulling Cato pretty much at 80 pitches, that really indicates to me that was Coach Neal's plan going into today.
Yeah.
He probably discussed that with Cato and said, hey, you're going to get to this point and we're taking you out.
Not surprising that they pull him after 80 pitches, as McClemens will step into this 5th inning of work, and Shufflebind will step into the batter's box. First pitch bunts, little dribbler in the infield. McClemens scoops it up and gets the outs over at first, but Shufflebind doing his job and moving Stoser, the tying run, over to second bag.
And if you're the Eights, reciprocating in kind Coach Neal's plan to play a little small ball. To be honest, Shufflebind's not running slowly there. I think part of the reason he's out there is he missed first on the way by trying to race it out, but I think the throw beat him regardless. Really good play.
Sun and Shine now to the batter's box as he'll foul off that first pitch. 0-1. Sun and Shine, 2 Ks on the afternoon. I should say the evening. It is 8:44 after all. Big swing and a miss, 0-2. Tying run for the Eights is Stoser sitting on second bag.
If you're Sun and Shine, you watched Rylance walk off and you probably breathed a sigh of relief, but so far still struggling to find solid contact.
Ball there, 1-2 to Sun and Shine. Fouled into the backstop, count still remains 1-2. There goes Watertown's fastest bad boy in the West. There goes Phoenix Thomas. He is a fun story. He's been Watertown's bat boy for the past couple of years. He loves it. Got to go on some away, as a ball is called, 2-2. Got to go on some away trips with the Arrows. He absolutely loves the game of baseball. He loves being the bat boy for Watertown. Big swing and a miss as McClemens will get his first K of the ball game. And it's the second out of the inning. That's going to bring to the plate Dawson Getz.
And if you ask the Watertown fans, that probably took an extra pitch than it should have. They were pretty sure McClemens had him on the pitch before, but the result the same at that point.
First pitch into Getz. Big grounder there. Going to be scooped up by the shortstop. Toss across. Not in time, as that was an error going to be charged there to Briggs. That's going to score a run, and we are tied up at 2 apiece. An error going to be charged on Briggs on the toss across over to Rylance. And Pierre is going to tie this one up on a Watertown error.
And that play, a good example of the wet baseball probably coming into play there. but also an example of stopping your feet. Briggs got there, went to go make the throw, and his whole upper body just kind of stopped, and that jerks that throw wide of Rylance at first.
Terwilliger into the batter's box now here for the Eights, and he's going to send that one right to Briggs. He'll toss that one over in time for the final out of the inning. But Pierre ties this one up on a Watertown error. We're tied at 2 apiece, heading to the bottom of the 5th inning. This is Post 17 TV.
Whether you're cheering on your team from across the state or across the country, just know right here in Watertown, Sharp Automotive is driving hometown pride forward. From new Chevys and GMCs to trusted service and parts, Sharp Automotive is proud to support South Dakota Legion Baseball in the next generation of hometown heroes. Shop online anytime at sharpgm.com. We'll be here when you're ready. Sharp Automotive, driven to serve and proud to support all baseball fans.
Mack Landscaping and Lawn Irrigation was started in 1983 and has developed into the top landscape and lawn irrigation business in the area. And it's not hard to see why. Just take a look at some of the work they've done. No job is too big or too small. Give Shane Mack a call at 605-880-6001 for landscaping or Wyatt Mack at 605-880-0300 for lawn irrigation or lighting.
At Active Heating, you could say we specialize in comfort, heating and air conditioning, plumbing, air and water quality. Active Heating is ready. Too hot or too cold? Our certified comfort experts for Coleman Heating and Cooling Equipment can help. Don't let a leak drain your bank account. Our plumbers can handle it. Improve your air and water quality with an air purifier and reverse osmosis system from Active Heating, your local Coleman dealer. Active Heating of Watertown and Brookings, your comfort experts.
Bottom of the 5th inning, tied up at 2 apiece between Watertown and Pierre. Game number 4 of the afternoon. It's been a day of upsets here. Rapid City 22 was upset by Rapid City Post 320 4-1. Renner, the 5 seed, upsetting the 4 seed Brandon Valley 6-2, and Harrisburg, the 7 seed, upsetting Yankton. Out of final there, 8-0, and Pierre trying to join the upset train here against the Arrows. First pitch into Rylance will go down for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes to Cato. Goes Rylance, Lake, and Himmerich here in the 5th inning. That one's going to take a hop, 2-0.
And I kind of mentioned it about an inning and a half ago. The longer this game goes and remains this close, you've already seen 2 upsets today. Pierre, the Post States, they start to think, why not us? Everybody else has done it, why not us?
Big swing and a miss, 2-1. Leimbach entered the inning at 86 pitches. Probably his last inning of work. He's going to send that one to the third baseman. Toss over, stretching, and got the outs. A big stretch there by Terwilliger to make the first out of the inning on the 5-3 putouts. Jonathan Lake to the plate here for Watertown.
And that play being made by Stoser, the throw went, and I kind of started to wonder if it was going to get there, but when you've got a D1 prospect at first base stretching out for it, he's got size enough to go collect it.
First pitch goes down for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes here to Lake. Bullpen has been activated here for Pierre. Got some warm-ups going on in front of us. Ball the call, 2-0 to Lake.
And that the second time a ball's been tossed at a Post-8 fielder that wasn't ready for it and almost took him out.
Ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes here to Lake. That's ball 4. That's a 4-pitch walk, and Watertown will get a man on here in the 5th inning. That'll bring to the plate Trayton Himmerich. And this might be the last batter that Lineback sees that he is at 95 pitches. Hemrick on the night has struck out twice. First pitch goes down for a strike. 0-1 to Hemrick's got go-ahead run and Lake sitting over on first.
And it looked like Pierre's 16U coach, Coach Life, walking down to the bullpen, checking to see, are we ready to go here if we need you?
1-1 to Hemrick. Big swing and a miss. 1-2 to Hemrick.
Good pitch there by Leimbach. Getting a bender to just kind of dive right out of the strike zone there, starting it at the knees and then bending it down. Getting Hemrick to offer at that one.
Oh, that got him right in the back, and there's 2 on now for Watertown as Hemrick was hit by the pitch.
And I have to believe if this is a different situation, Hemrick maybe finds a way to get out of the way of that one. But you're already starting to see some fatigue signs from Leimbach. You might as well absorb that one, get 2 runners on with just 1 out, and be ready here to run as we get McClellan's going to bat and then Hansen, the bunt specialist.
So McClellan's will step into the batter's box. First pitch goes down for a strike. 0-1 here to Jackson McClellan's, basketball star here for the Watertown Arrows. Of course, when your dad's the coach, probably have to be. Strike the call. 0-2 here to McClellan's.
I can honestly say I can't think of a lot of basketball coaches that have sons where the son wasn't some kind of basketball star.
Yep. That is way up high and gets past Simpson, and everybody's going to slide over a bag, and now 2 are in scoring position here for Watertown. Lake right there sitting on third, and Hemrick on second. 1 away here in the bottom of this 5th inning. This will be the final batter that Leimbach will see, as he is now at 102 pitches.
And I believe I just saw the runner for Pierre to come down and say, hey, it's go time. Come on down from the bullpen here.
Get a quick meeting. And I think that's just basically to give him just a little bit of rest and get a little bit more time for some pitches, for some warm-up pitches to be thrown. And now we'll play on. 1-2 to count here to McClellan's. Ball. 2-2 the count.
This time the Post 8 fans turn to be a little unhappy with the call. That pitch did look low, though, comparative to everything that Denning has called up to this point.
That is going to be popped up and will go into the seats. Count still remains at 2-2, 1 away, bottom 5, 2 on in scoring position here for Watertown in a 2-2 game. Rung him up, strike number 3, and the second out of the inning. And this is going to be it here for Leimbach, as we are going to see a pitching change for Pierre on the evening. Leimbach will go 4 2/3, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 5 strikeouts, and 8 walks will be the official line here for Leimbach this evening. New pitcher for Pierre will be number 5, Will Dunberg, I believe.
What I wrote in my notes doing some research for this, I wrote Danberg, but I believe Tyler Merriam pronounced it Dunberg. So I went based on the spreadsheet we were sent. We're going to go with Dunberg until somebody corrects us. Please, for the love of goodness, nobody correct us.
I've been broadcasting 25 years next year, and I think I've been corrected every single year. It always happens. There's always a parent. Danberg. All right, so when we'll go with what Mr. Merriam says. So Will Danberg, the new pitcher here for Watertown, for Pierre Post 8, as he'll try to get out of this inning. Let's set the stage for you. 2 on here for Watertown. Lake on third, Hemrick on second. Watertown led off this inning with a ground out by Rylance. Lake had the base on balls. Hemrick was hit by a pitch. McClellan struck out. It'll be Cole Hansen to the plate, kind of the bunting specialist for Watertown. Reached down the fielder's choice in the third, struck out in the second. In a 2-2 ball game, Hansen kind of the bunting specialist, but you don't really want to put him up to bunts in this situation.
Now, you say that, but in the game that I called with you against Brookings,
that is very true.
He's willing to bunt, and I mean, probably can in any situation. The hardest part here being you have a new pitcher in. My guess is he's probably not trying to put anything down until he's seen a couple of strikes, or at least one. You don't want to do it with 2 strikes, right? But at least get this guy to prove he can establish and command the zone before you just start giving things away. Now, with that said, when you have Hansen bunting, it's never really trying to give it away at that point. Everything he does is trying to bunt for a hit at that point. On 2 outs, though, it's kind of a tough situation. You have 2 runners in scoring position. I think you just have to rely on Hansen to be able to put the barrel on it and try and find some green in the outfield.
So Hansen steps in. Danberg will deliver in his first pitch. Goes down for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes here to Cole Hansen, the 9-hitter for Watertown.
Simpson hasn't really said much behind the plate there to Denning. He had a little bit of exchange there on that one, believing that one probably should have been a strike.
He'll get the call there. 1-1 to Hansen.
And based on the body language and the communication after, I think that first pitch was called high, which Simpson may not necessarily have agreed with.
Strike the call. 1-2 to Hansen. Again, 2 in scoring position here for Watertown in a 2-2 ball game, bottom 5. Danberg fires, and that one's going to be in the dirt. Makes it even at 2-2. Here's the toss. That is going to be delivered into center field, and it is not grabbed there by Hunsley. 1 run will score, and Watertown takes the lead 3-2. 2 runs did score there. As also scoring Lake and Hemrick. 4-2 will be our new score. Watertown taking the lead here in the 5th inning. Lake scores. Hemrick scores. as Cole Hansen gets the 2 RBIs. Back up to the top of the order, 4th time through the order, it's Reese. As he'll send that one down and scooped up by the shortstop, toss across in time. Final out of the inning. 6-3 put out, but Watertown sends 2 across to take the lead. New score as we enter the bottom of the 5th inning, 4-2 Arrows. This is Post 17 TV.
Looking for a way to show your school spirit and support the Watertown School District? With the Arrow Spirit card from American Bank and Trust, you can do both. Every time you use your Arrow Spirit debit card, a portion of your purchase goes right back to the school, helping fund important programs and activities. It's a win for you and a big win for our students. Visit your local American Bank and Trust at 1715 First Avenue Northeast today to sign up and make a difference with every swipe. American Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
In town for the game or just passing through? Well, swing by Country Road Barn, home of the area's best smoked meats, brisket, ribs, pulled pork, all slow smoked to perfection and served with that small town charm. They're open Wednesday through Friday, 5 until 9 p.m., so plan your visit and bring your appetite. It's a true taste of small town South Dakota and worth every mile. The Country Road Barn, just minutes from Watertown and a home run for your hunger. Stay connected with them on their Facebook page or website.
It'll go Simpson, Leimbach, and Hunsley due up here for Pierre in the 6th inning. Arrows with the lead 4-2. It's an 0-1 count to Simpson as that one goes down for strike 2. 0-2 here to Simpson. And Nate, we were talking off the air. Now, both teams have errors in the ball game. Both teams have scoring errors as well. Both teams have scored off errors as that one is sent directly into center field. Pitkin finds it for the first down of the inning.
And like we kind of talked about, the hard part with those errors, too, is they come at times where you have put runners on that you couldn't defend. Like we said for Danberg there. He inherits 2 of Leimbach's runners that was a walk and a hit by pitch, and so it's a tough spot to be in. And then for Hunsley, he chases that ball down all the way until the moment of impact, and then it glances off the glove.
First pitch fouled off at 0-1.
But that's a thing that we talk about as a coach is walks can only hurt you because they are base runners on that we never got a chance to actually defend. And so then we have to do other things outside of that with the next batters to be able to try and erase those pieces. So as a pitcher, walks are the ultimate thing that you try to avoid.
Oh, 1. That goes down for a ball. 1-1 to Leimbach.
And it can sound a little silly, right? You don't want to give up a bunch of hits, but as a pitcher, you can live with giving up a bunch of hits because it means you're living in the zone. Quite the dance move there on the on-deck circle to avoid the bat. Probably a little extra pine tar needed if you're Leimbach there to try and get the bat to stick.
Maybe we don't have a replay of that. Holy cow, that was, we might get one. But holy cow, that was, there we go. Here's the replay of this. Holy cow. Is that that's Leimbach. He just knew. He covered his head afterwards too, going, oh no. 1-2 the counts. McClemens fires in. It's going to go down for a ball. Evens the count at 2-2.
McClemens content living inside against Leimbach here.
Fouled away. Count is still 2-2.
Leimbach on that pitch got his hands a little bit extended and just kind of jammed himself. Puts that pitch out past the first base stands.
Chase that one, strike number 3, and the second out of the inning. That'll bring to the plate now Peter Hunsley. Pierre Post States with a rich tradition of baseball, playing at probably one of my favorite fields in the States, Hyde Stadium. That is a beautiful facility. Their last state tournament win was 2017, coming off some great pitching on that squad. As 1-0 here to Hunsley. As that one's going to go down for a strike. 1-1 the counts.
And between Hyde Stadium and Watertown Stadium, a couple of the last all grass, all natural fields left really in the area.
1-2 the count to Hunsley. As a quick meeting comes out here between Lake and McClemens.
And I think this really just a matter of, here's what the report said we want to attack him with, here's what we should probably throw. And if you're McClemens, you have comfort pitches that you like to go to. They don't necessarily mesh sometimes, and so the discussion there being, what is it we're actually going to go with here to just get out of this inning?
Ball the call there. 2-2 the counts. That one is going to be sent into foul territory, playable, and Cato finds it for the final out of the inning. Here goes down in the order, and we're off to the bottom of the 6th inning with the Arrows on top of the 8s, 4-2. This is Post 17 TV.
As one of the nation's strongest financial organizations, First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card have the strength to do good. We support nearly 700 organizations and nonprofits. Our employees give more than 30,000 volunteer hours annually. And we are continually seeking ways to make South Dakota an even better place to live. It's the Premier way. First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card.
Infinity Fun is the place to be. They got trampolines, they got bowling, they got mini golf, they got games, they got food that's insanely good. Infinity Fun, they got trampolines, they got bowling, they got mini golf, they got games, they got food that's insanely good. Infinity Fun.
Open 7 days a week in Watertown.
Do something to launch your future at Lake Area Tech. It's a living, working, thought-producing environment to help you level up in the workforce. Combined with hands-on training and real-world experience, you'll be ready to find a high-paying career you'll love right out of school, the way 99% of our graduates do. It's the best return on your college investment, the quickest path to your future success. Lake Area Tech, the start of something new.
Bottom of 6, Arrows on top of the 8s, 4-2. I'm Brett Nathaniel. He's Nate Russell. Glad to have you along, Post 17 TV. And thanks to the crew at Arrow TV for producing all of the games all week long here at the Class A State Legion Baseball Tournament. Thanks KXLG, pregame, postgame, and inside the game as well. Keeping the tournament rolling. Thanks to everybody who has made this tournament possible here in the Watertown Stadium, the Watertown area. This is just... When they announced this back in the spring, my jaw dropped, and this has been a dream of Coach Ryan Neal for a long time, and just happy that we're bringing this here to Watertown Stadium. First pitch goes down for a ball. It'll be Olsen, Pitkin, and Briggs due up for Watertown, and this half inning of work is we'll get another meeting of the minds here between catcher and pitcher.
And I think that quick little meeting just, hey, did you not see what I called there? A bender thrown, probably a fastball expected by Simpson, just making sure they're on the same page here.
0-1. That's going to go down for a strike. 1-1 here to Olson. He's been, if my math is right, he's been hit by a pitch 3 times. Is that what you have down? Twice. He's been hit by a pitch twice in this game. As that one's going to be fouled off. 1-2.
The umpire getting to get hit by pitch that time. Olson hit by pitch, and then ball 4. So he has walked all 3 times, but just basic base on balls the last time up. Didn't have to earn it the hard way.
Simpson and Danberg again coming out and chatting real quick, trying to get on the same page here.
And actually, that more just general baseball courtesy. The umpire wears a pitch like that. You try and give him a little bit of time to just kind of gather himself. I don't think Denning wore too much of that, but again, just general baseball courtesy.
That is sent into left field. Going to drop down for a base hit, and a man will get on here for the Arrows. As now we're going to get a rundown between, and heading off to a third, and coming in safely is Olson. As I believe there's going to be an error charge to Leinbach in left field, as he stuttered with that one real quick. And just quick thinking by Olson, hey, let's take some extra bags.
And really good base running there by Olson. He rounds first. Pretty sure the intention there is at least get halfway. I thought he could have made it after Leinbach's bobble, but he hesitates. And then after the bobble, Leinbach collects it, throws it over second base to just nobody at that point. And then Olson able to take third.
First pitch goes down for a strike into Pitkin.
And really, for Olson, that's going to go down as a single and then advance on the E7.
That pitch going to go down for a ball. 1-1 here to Pitkin. That is going to be hit sharply into right field, grabbed there. Tag will not be applied. And it's the first out of the inning. Sonnenschein with a great grab in right field.
And that a good example of really you want to make sure you can tag up on everything from third base. We've got less than 2 outs. That ball looked like it was ticketed for a single.
Yes.
And Olson had kind of leaked off of third base, so he didn't get back in time to be able to tag.
Briggs will take in a first pitch ball here from Danberg.
And I can't even really label that not good base running, because really he put himself in a position of being able to score, and it really took an extraordinary effort from Sonnenschein in right field to be able to keep Olson at third base at that point.
1-1 the count here to Briggs. Danberg fires, and he'll fire in a strike. 1-2 now the counts. Briggs has walked twice so far in this game. Got a man sitting on third bag. That pitch goes down for a ball. 2-2 the counts. Here, bottom 6th inning, Arrows on top 4-2, and really that man on third bag, an insurance run the way this game has been going.
And especially like we talked about before the game, right? Post-8 has played a lot of tight ones and even 2-run games, so getting that third run can be important.
Fouled into the nets. 2-2 remains the counts. Danberg gets 17 pitches here in relief, fires in number 18 for a ball. Full count now here to Briggs, 1 away, bottom of the 6th inning.
And if you're Briggs, you've walked a couple of times, you're okay with another one. His last time up is when he lined out and then Olsen got doubled up. So good solid contact in the last one again too.
Ball 4, and runners are going to be on the corners now here for the Arrows. And to the plates, Caden Rylance.
If you're Coach Neal, this is the perfect spot to have a guy up. You do have one out at this point. I have to imagine there's probably, it might not be the first pitch, but probably within the first couple, 3 pitches, he's probably going to put some action on here. Try and avoid the double play, having the 4-hitter and 5-hitter with the 4-hitter in front of him. So making sure if there's a ground ball, we're probably not going to get doubled up and end the inning and still have a shot at getting this run in.
Cato showing bunts, dribbles it down in the infield, scooped up, run will score. It's an RBI bunt there by Cato as Watertown gets another one on the board. What a great bunt there by Rylance.
The safety squeeze on there, Rylance did a great job of making sure that bunt went to the first base side. Olsen never had a threat of being put out there. The sacrifice RBI there, and still a runner in scoring position with Lake at the plate.
That's Briggs on second bag here for Watertown. First pitch into Lake. He'll deliver that one foul. 0-1 to Lake.
For Danberg, you got to find a way, make sure you get this last out, keep this lead at 3, and like we talked about, it's only the 6th. Post 8 generally finds a way to continue to fight back in games like this. So really, while it's 3 runs, if you're Post 8, you don't feel out of it at this point.
Danberg fires. That one's going to be popped up, playable for the infield, and grabbing it there is Shufflebine for the final out of the inning. But Watertown sends another run across, 5-2 as we head off to the 7th inning. This is Post 17 TV.
Looking for family fun all in one place? The Come Out's Legends. Tee off on their mini golf course. Race your crew in go-karts and strike up some laughs with mini bowling. Kids love the arcade, and parents, they've got you covered with cold beer and amazing food. And don't forget the cherry on top, SDSU ice cream. It's all happening at Legends, where fun meets flavor. Highway 212, Watertown.
They say there's no guarantees in life. But who's they? And do they have Midco Internet? Now there's a guarantee. So let's go. Let's go reliable. Let's go resilient. Let's go beyond.
Midwest Foam and Coatings LLC is a family-owned and operated full-service insulation company specializing in spray foam application and energy efficiency. They offer all types of insulation like spray foam, blown-in cellulose, blown-in fiberglass, and fiberglass bats. Midwest Foam and Coatings also does insulation removal along with specialty coating that can restore rubber and metal roof systems. Visit their website for more information at mwfoam.com. Good luck to the Watertown Post 17 baseball team from Midwest Foam and Coatings.
Pierre needs 3 runs here on the top of the 7th inning as the Eights trail the Arrows 5-2. Winner of this game gets Harrisburg at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Loser gets Yankton at 1 o'clock tomorrow night. All games of the tournaments are right here on Post 17 TV. We'll run down that bracket, if you will, coming up here in the postgame show. KXLG postgame show as well. We'll talk with the winning coach and a player from the winning team as well. That's coming up in the KXLG postgame show. It'll be Round, Stoser, and a Shufflebine due up here for the Eights, as actually it'll be Danberg in place of Rounds. 1-1 the count here to Danberg. Ball there. 2-1. McClemens at 25 pitches coming into this inning, and you got to think for the Arrows, you know, you want him to kind of have a 1-2-3 inning. McClemens really that 3 guy. You might see him start a little bit for the Arrows on Thursday. 3-1 the counts. That's a strike. Going to fill up the counts at 3-2.
A few close pitches there from McClemens. Gets the call on that one to force full count here.
That is going to be ball 4. So a leadoff walk issued by McClemens, and Pierre will get a man on here in the 7th inning. To the plate now is Hudson Stoser. First pitch goes down for a strike. 0-1 here to Stoser. Strike 2 on a beautiful pitch.
And if you're McClemens, you're doing exactly what you need to, which is you've gotten into the stretch, but now you are executing everything.
That one's low, 1-2.
Not a bad pitch for an 0-2. It stayed low and away, but you can't get hurt there. Hopefully he chases, but again, it sets up this off speed, I would imagine.
That one's fouled into the nets. 1-2 remains the counts.
That time Stoser able to put the bat on it. It was the off speed like I anticipated. Now if you're McClemens, you can kind of move it around a little bit. You've kind of shown him a couple of things. I wouldn't be surprised if this is fastball, maybe elevated.
That one takes a little bit of a hop. Count still at 1-2.
I think Lake wanted that pitch inside. McClemens got it low and away. Stoser did a good job staying alive, fighting that pitch off regardless of where it was at.
That is a ground ball foul down the third base line as Stoser continues to battle McClemens on the hill. 1-2 remains the counts. You know, if you're Pierre, this is exactly what you want to do. You want to make Watertown work for this one.
And if you're McClemens and Lake, you got to move this around a little bit. He seems to have timed it up.
Ball there, 2-2.
Really, I think the ideal place you want to pitch this next one is just up in, over the hands. Probably not so much in where you're in threat of hitting him, but that pitch a little more elevated. Again, got the chase. You'd like to get this one up by the hands just so that it really doesn't have a chance to be caught up to.
2-2 remains the counts. The pitch. That is going to be low for ball 3. And again, another full count here for Pierre. Pierre continuing to battle in the top half of the 7th inning, trailing the Arrows 5-2. Popped up and playable as Lake was going to watch that one go to where the press box used to be on top of Watertown Stadium. Did my first couple of years right above where the new press box is at. And you always had to look out for those balls because they would come flying into that press box. There was also some parts in that press box where you look down and you go, I probably shouldn't step there.
Any good old press box has that.
Got him. Strike number 3. And the first out of the inning. We go back up to the top of the order. 4th time through the order, it'll be Carter Shufflebine.
It probably took more pitches than McClemens wanted, but really at the end of the day, that's a huge out for a number of reasons. Like we said, Post 8 felt like they were in great position. If they had found a way to get Stoser on, runners on first and second, no outs, that changes a lot of the approach to the rest of this inning. Now you've got only 2 outs left to work with and just the single runner on first. If you're McClemens, you can attack the zone here, and a single or 2 doesn't end up hurting you at that point, but make them have to work for it.
As we're going to see a pitching change for Watertown, as McClemens probably being pulled because Watertown wants to save him for Thursday. And we will see a new pitcher for the Arrows to try to get these final 2 outs. So McClemens getting handshakes all around as he's off to the dugouts. Carter Bisker will be the new pitcher here for Watertown.
So I guess by scoring terms, you credit McClemens with the hold here, having made sure that Post 8 didn't put up any additional runs. And now Bisker coming in with a closing save opportunity, I guess is the proper way that gets scored.
McClemens 2 1/3. He'll have 3 strikeouts and a walk, but no runs, no hits in this game. So not a bad outing for McClemens, as he will have, I believe it was 27 pitches. No, 42 pitches for McClemens. So yeah, that is the reason why Coach Neal ended up pulling him here. So Carter Bisker coming on to try to get the final 2 outs. Shufflebine and Sonnenschein are the next 2 here for Pierre. For Pierre in this ball game, they got their runs, 1 in the 3rd and 1 in the 5th. For the Arrows, they got 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, and then some big runs for the Arrows, as they had 2 in the 5th and then 1 in the 6th. So, kind of spreading the love around, if you will, and that's exactly what you want to see from this Arrows team, really, taking advantages of opportunities, and that's exactly what they've done tonight. But on the other end, both teams have had errors in this game that both teams have scored on.
And really, you can survive errors as long as you can prevent them from compounding. Good baseball teams find a way to capitalize when the other team commits errors. When you don't capitalize on those, you are given opportunities. And really, as a baseball team, it becomes deflating even if you can't find ways to capitalize on errors.
Shufflebine in the box now, takes a first pitch strike from Bisker. Bisker really that 4th guy, really that guy coming out of the bullpen here for Watertown this year. Big swing and fouled away. 0-2 to Shufflebine.
And I think early on, even in the high school season, that was kind of the role that Coach Neal envisioned for Bisker, because he brought him into the game, I believe, against Harrisburg, and put him in a position similar to this, but he wasn't able to execute it at that point. But really the vision being getting to this point right here, right now, and having the experience to lean on, and now having the feeling of being able to go and execute.
0-2 remains the counts to Shufflebine. Bisker tosses. That is popped up and into the parking lot. It'll go. Count still remains at 0-2.
Again, another good at bat here for Pierre. Really, all night long, they've had pretty decent at-bats. Obviously, going against a guy like Rylance can be tough. But on the whole, while they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Ks, really, they've had some pretty good ABs, some pretty good approaches at the plate.
Fouled away again as Shufflebine continues to work here at the plate. And this has really been Pierre in this 7th inning, making Watertown work. Lots of long at-bats for Pierre. Into the seats as people trying to get out of the way. If this is banana ball, that might have been an out.
Yeah, I can't tell if they caught it with the program or if somebody got out of the way.
That is a ground ball, grab there, toss to first, not in time as that one gets past Cato, as now we're going to get a rundown between second and third. There's the out. Did they get the second out? No, it'll be safe called. So just one out will be called. And that is going to be on Danberg. He is going to be the out. So Danberg the out. Shufflebine ends up on second back.
So I believe that's going to get recorded as 2-5-6. I don't remember another throw in there.
I was trying to put that one together in my head as well.
I think that's what it ends up being. And really that's created, so a great play by Himrick to get to that ball. The throw goes wide. Lake did a great job of backing that up, being there, and then Shufflebine way overrunning first base going, oh, that ball got thrown away, not realizing that Danberg did not advance.
Sun and shine now to the plate as Pierre is down to their last out. That one up high, 1-1. Up high again, 2-1.
And that play by Himrick there, a good example of trying to make a play for your pitcher. But in this situation, you got to that ball and you prevented runners from advancing.
Scooped up there by Himrick, toss across in time, and the Arrows have knocked off the Eights and will play Harrisburg tomorrow on the championship side of the bracket here this evening. Let's take a look at our post-game statistics. Our box score will go like this for Pierre tonight. It'll be Getz with a hit, and that is really it. Just one hit for Pierre in this game. 20 at-bats, 2 runs, 1 hit, 1 RBI, 5 walks, and 9 strikeouts. Lambach will go 4 2/3, 2 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned, 5 strikeouts, and 8 walks. Danberg will go an inning and a third, 1 hit, 1 run, and 1 strikeout. Danberg 23 pitches, Lambach with 105 pitches. For Watertown, they will have 3 hits in this one. Reese with a hit, Olson with a hit, Rylance with a hit. Cato will have a hit and 2 RBIs. Briggs will also collect an RBI in this game. 19 at-bats, 5 runs, 3 hits, 3 RBIs, 9 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Rylance will go 4 on the hill, 1 run, 2 hits, 1 earned, 6 strikeouts, and 4 walks. McClemens goes 2 1/3. He will actually get the W as he'll have all zeros, strikeout 3 and walk 1. Bisker will go 2/3 of an inning with all zeros on the board. 2 runs, 1 hit, 2 errors for Pierre, 5 runs, 3 hits, and 2 errors for Watertown. The Arrows will move on. The bracket will look like this tomorrow. In the 10 a.m. game, it'll be Rapid City Post 22 taking on Brandon Valley. The 1 o'clock game on the loser outside will be Yankton and Pierre. On the championship side of the bracket, the 4 o'clock game will be Rapid City 320 facing Renner, and the 7 o'clock game will have Harrisburg taking on Watertown. Those will be the matchups tomorrow, and all 4 of those games will be here on Post 17 TV. We'll take our timeouts. We'll wrap this one up. The KXLG postgame show is next. This is Post 17 TV.
Baseball, small towns, and strong communities. It's what South Dakota is all about. And at Sharp Automotive in Watertown, we're proud to stand behind the Legion State Tournament and everything it represents. Whether you're in the stands or watching from miles away, know that Sharp is committed to quality vehicles, friendly service, and supporting the next generation. Explore more at sharpautos.com. Sharp Automotive, where you can always count on us.
Between working on our farm and being a surgical nurse here at Prairie Lakes for 43 years, my shoulders have been through a lot. I needed a different kind of surgery. It's called a reverse total shoulder replacement. Different shoulders are different. With surgeons like Dr. Johnston here in Watertown, I didn't need a different city, just a different plan.
Prairie Lakes Healthcare System. Your health, our mission.
Stop into Roy's Sports Shop for the newest and latest apparel, footwear, and equipment for your sports. Whether it's a new bat from Marucci, a glove from Rawlings, a new pair of shoes from Under Armour or Adidas, or a pair of Oakley sunglasses, Roy's Sports Shop has what you need. Check out their online spirit store for apparel from your favorite team or school. Let them know if you'd like to start a new online store for your team or organization. Roy's Sports Shop is a local business that has served our area for the past 50 years. Roy's Sports Shop, East Highway 212, Watertown.
All right, and we're back here. It's the Postgame Show, KXLG Postgame Show here as we wrap up day number 1 of the 2025 South Dakota State American Legion Baseball Tournament Class A portion. Boy, what a day. Wrapped up with a good one with Watertown pulling off a 5-2 win here with Gary Weckworth and also with Roger Merriam. Let's first of all talk to the player. Let's bring in our player of the game here right now. Go ahead, Gary.
I get to. Do you want me to take the mic?
You can take it. Okay.
Oh, this is gold. Mitch, congrats on the win tonight. Talk about, there's a couple plays you had. There was a foul ball, I remember. You had to make quite an effort to get it. If I remember right, it kind of stalled a Pierre rally. Do I remember this right?
I mean, yeah, we're in the outfield with no fly zone. That's what we go by. And I mean, anything to get the crowd going, get us going.
I talk about the run that you scored to put you guys up 5-2. Replay that for us.
I mean, I didn't have a great hit out to left, but I hustled it out. Got to second, they overthrew it. Got to third, just got everything going. And then after that, Cato laid down a good bunt. I mean, who would have thought he would bunt?
Okay, last question. What was the mood in the dugout today? What was the feeling with the guys before the game? How the game progressed? Give us just an overall assessment.
We were nervous right away, but I mean, we just had to get through that first inning, and then after that, I feel like we're just rolling. I mean, we're gonna make mistakes, but we just gotta keep our head up and just keep rolling tomorrow.
Congratulations again. Nice job in the win.
Perfect. Awesome. And now let's bring in the coach and Mr. Two-time Hall of Famer Roger Merriam gets to interview us. So go ahead.
You do realize this is a deadly comment. What's the time limit on this thing? 5 minutes. 5 minutes? Okay.
Okay, 5 minutes.
What would it be, 180 minutes?
Yes. But anyway, tell us a little bit about the pitching stuff with Cato coming out, and then even McClemmons, I'm sure, is a pitch count deal. For people go, you got 2-1 with Cato.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, we've talked with our, Cato back in January, December. I mean, like, we knew he was going to. He's healthy. He was going to pitch on July 29th at 7 o'clock, and we knew he was going to throw 79 pitches. That plan is stuck, and we think we all would have liked a little bit more cushion than when you pull one of the best pitchers in the state in that situation. After that inning, we had to make that decision. And, I talked with Nick and Travis, and we're like, are we going to do this? And Travis said, we got to stick to our philosophy. So then I wanted to go talk to Cato, because it's something that can get very, I think, it's been, go back to Planteen years ago, right? Criticized a little bit for going, you're going to throw Rusty, you're going to throw Adams. Now, obviously, we have a pitch count rule. It's changed it a little bit, but I went to Cato. I said, you good with this? And he goes, absolutely. We're here to win it.
But he's eligible to come back
on Saturday. He'll 3 days rest. And then Jackson, he's a guy that has, rubber arm. And depending, we kind of knew our matchup. If we were going to win this, Talon will go against Harrisburg. And if we would have Yankton, it would be Jackson McClemmons. So knowing that matchup, we really wanted to kind of match that up accordingly. And yeah, Jackson was the same thing. So he'll be off tomorrow, and he'll be our Game 3 starter, whoever our opponent is. And I think we've talked about this team a lot, and I know me and you have talked a lot with how the bullpen is and where we could get a little bit more improved from last year's team, and you just saw it. You have a guy like Carter Bister can come in and light up a radar gun. You have Jackson McClemmons that's got a little velocity, a different angle. Teams haven't seen him as much because he's younger. Didn't play a lot earlier. So that's given us a lot of flexibility on how we want this team in this, to win. And that was a great execution by the boys tonight.
Okay, a couple other things. First, Rylance bunting. I know you're a bunt fan, but I was a little bit surprised that they didn't even. We're supposed to throw high and tight, right, or something. Threw it right down the middle and let him do it.
Nick and Travis said the same thing. When we went over there, and I don't know how many people thought in the stands that was the play. First and third, you got a guy that Briggs can run. You got a guy like Mitch that can run at third. I'm sure they're thinking it's a running situation at that point. But part of our philosophy, and you said it, for me, it's a lot of small ball. Okay, we got to stick to our philosophy and who we are in that situation. Caden Rylance isn't a big fly ball guy these days. He's a double play guy waiting to happen. So I thought it was a good time to, get down that bunt. He can handle the bat, and you just never know when your time to bunt is coming. We say it all day. Every year from the start, you got to bunt. Everybody on this team will bunt at some time. You just don't know when it. And especially the middle of the order, the 3, 4, 5s, you don't think it's going to be in the 6th inning of the state tournament with an insurance run and standing at third base. Usually those guys are going to be swing away guys, but I just thought that was the right play, and Cato did a great job executing.
I'm sure we're happy with the win, but not necessarily in the driver's seat, but the only highest seeded team to win.
You know what, Jeremy? Jeremy told me after I talked with him, Jeremy Van Heel from Brandon, and we met at home plate quickly, and he said, "Say some prayers. Nobody's won in that dugout yet today." Well, my response was, "Well, that's our home dugout." I mean, we're used to winning in that one, but you know what? It's state tournament baseball. Right? Baseball is weird enough as it is. With pitching and conditions, you get some wet baseballs here. I thought, and you could see evident that ball played a factor here at the end of the game. With their left fielder, Trey, just the things. But I think, how you look at this matchup moving forward, it's anybody's game. We've said this out, obviously 22 is probably the heavier favorite of everybody, but they played a lot of close games against South Dakota schools. And so, and a lot of us have. The power points, they're all separated. I mean, Yankton didn't pass us till the last day, for the 2 seed, and we had, other guys on our heels as well. So, it's going to be fun. It's really wide open, and, and it's going to be an exciting thing, but I don't know if you're going to ask me another question, which is fine, but I do want to make a very big statement. You talk about, never taking a play off, a pitch off, and I hope there's kids. I'm looking at one right now, and young kids. Johnny Lake did an amazing job in that last inning of working his tail off to go back up a throw, which should be a routine play. Trayton Hemrick hits him in the chest 9,900 times out of a million, or whatever that is. You're never going to make that. 1 out of 99 10. The ball slipped. Johnny gets down there, backs it up, and he's there. We get an out still. So all of our younger guys, that's a great example. There's a lot of young kids in the stand, and he just showed you never take a pitch off, expect the ball in the worst situation, and it was a phenomenal thing, and it changed the game. So, yeah.
Good job. We better cut off. They're going to cut me off.
That was about 10 minutes, guys. Very good. Congratulations. Yes, appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow. Yes. All right, let's get in here and wrap this up a little bit. Hey, that was an outstanding day. Great win for Watertown. And now we're going to set the stage. You're getting down. He is 6'5", so he needs to get a little smaller here. Let's set the stage for tomorrow. First game at 10 o'clock. A lot of people didn't expect this. Rapid City Post 22 versus Brandon Valley, and that's an elimination game, double elimination. The next game at 1 o'clock is Yankton versus Pierre in another elimination game. In the winner's bracket at 4 o'clock, Rapid City Post 320. A lot of people didn't expect them to defeat Rapid City Post 22, which they did today. They're going to take on Renner Post 307, and then the late game at 7 o'clock, Watertown's back in action against Harrisburg in the winner's bracket. Should be a great day of baseball tomorrow. Gary, you got to golf tomorrow. You won't be here.
I won't be here tomorrow. Nope, tomorrow's my day off. I need a rest after today.
Understandable. It's been a lot. Roger, you'll be back.
Yes, I'll be back. No courtesy runners for me.
Well, I appreciate you guys more than you know. This has been a lot of fun. Day number 1, Watertown putting on a show here as we're hosting the 2025 South Dakota Class A State American Legion Baseball Tournament. Thanks for everybody checking it out today. We got more days coming up. Tomorrow we'll have Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday before this all wraps up and we crown a brand new state champion. So there you go. We'll be back with more coming up tomorrow. Join us for the pregame before 10 o'clock, so probably about 9:45 or so coming up tomorrow morning. Thanks very much. For Gary Weckworth and Roger Merriam, I'm Jeremy Herbold.
You've been watching coverage of the 2025 Class A American Legion Baseball Tournament on Post 17 TV. This has been a presentation of the Watertown Baseball Association in partnership with Aero TV and KXLG Radio. Like and subscribe to follow more of the purple and golds.